Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, February 21st. Hey, Carol, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, real quick, before we get started, we're offering an opportunity for public input on things that are not in the agenda. During the meeting, if you do want to put in public comment, just please make us aware, and so you can comment on the individual pieces of the agenda. So does anybody have any public comment?
Yes. Can you hear me? Good morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I had a question last week. There was, you guys kind of went over some of the capital improvement information with regards to the courthouse and then maybe the building next door. And Seth had mentioned something at Kiwanis about the same. At some point, is there going to be a plan, a master plan that shows what all the potential capital improvement projects are and the financial impacts? Or are we going to handle it like the Justice Center? Because it was just kind of thrown out there. I'd like to see a plan, 5 years, 10 years, what the goals are, and then presented to the community in a public forum.
I mean, I think you said the same thing. We're gonna do it like we did with the Justice Center and involve the community and have a conversation. So yes and yes.
Okay, I don't feel like there was a lot of conversations with the Justice Center prior to the Justice Center and the bond measure. So it was, I think that it could have been a big improvement on that communication.
Thank you, Monty.
Thanks.
All right, anybody else? Any changes to the consent agenda? All right, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to pass the consent agenda as presented.
I second it.
Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, Carol, you're up. Do you know how much garbage, like total tonnage you've pulled out of the river to the state?
Total, no.
Just to like put you on a total spot right now.
Okay, so one of the problems is that, you guys pay the bills and I don't see them. So, and they weigh it at that time, and so I don't always get the numbers.
Well, it's a lot, and we thank you.
It is quite a bit. So, yeah, I'm Carol Benkowski, and actually I think I'll just stand. I'm Carol Benkowski. I'm with the Rotary Club of Crook County, and I'm here to ask for continued support from the county court for the Ochoco Creek cleanup. This will be our 7th year of doing the cleanup. We do it twice a year, once in the spring before the irrigation season gets started, and then again in the fall after the irrigation season is over, so that the creek levels are low and it's safer for our volunteers to get in and get the trash out. In the past, you guys have agreed to pay for the tipping fees. Where Public Services will donate the dumpster and get it up to the landfill, but they prefer not to pay the tipping fees. And that, so that is my request.
Yeah, no, makes total sense to me. Do we have like a limit that we put on it, or, you know, do you generally know what it costs every year?
Yeah, it's probably, I think at the very beginning, it was about $400, but I think the last number of years, we've not even gotten close to filling the dumpster.
You got all the tires and
Yeah, that's
grocery carts
the
out of there.
unknown, is sometimes we get tires and we hide the dumpster so it doesn't breed tires. But there is that issue. If we do get, you know, if we get like 6 tires or something
Yeah, that's gonna
thrown
put
into
that
the
bill.
creek, then it could be higher. So I would recommend that you at least consider at least $200.
About 500, just to be safe.
Your ask is for 200. Your ask is for 200.
Yeah, I think that's what we need.
Yeah.
You know, for sure. So that would be my ask.
Sure, we can take care of it whenever we do. So
Yeah.
I commend you for going and doing cleanup. It's kind of sickening what people do throw in the creek and just. Yes, and I commend you for doing that,
It's getting better. It's getting so much better.
which is good,
Yes.
hopefully, yes.
Yes.
But it is kind of discouraging when you go out and you see what people think. Yeah, they just toss in. So I do acknowledge your effort and commend you on it.
Thank you. Thank
When
you.
do you plan on doing it, Carol?
So, March 30th, like I said, just before the irrigation season starts. We always try to do it on that Saturday. Unfortunately, that is spring break, which affects volunteers, but, we manage. Then we'll do it again in October. I think it's the 12th. It'll be that second Saturday in October.
You might kind of check in with Ochco Irrigation District, because this year we're gonna see the creek have some water in it. Probably some pretty substantial water later on and earlier in the spring.
Okay.
So
Yeah, usually they don't start flushing until April 1st. You're saying that they'll go outside the official irrigation.
yeah,
season?
because they will be doing it for flood control. We've had such a wet winter, the reservoir will be more than full, and they will be pretty much like the Crooked River, they've been dumping water out of it.
Okay,
Could very well happen with Ochco Creek this year.
okay. Thanks for the heads up.
Didn't want you to be
I,
here with
I,
water.
I usually do connect up with those guys and just let them know.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I'm great with it.
I'm good.
Good. I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion to meet the request for the county receiving the landfill or the garbage from the Rotary Club's cleanup in the amount of $200.
I second that motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
Great.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Signatures for final plat. Angela, oh, hello.
Signatures for final plat for Parkview Estates
Mhm.
and 39 lot subdivision in Brineville.
Can you come up here and speak, please?
Will kind of maybe help me with this a little, Will, but I think we just want to make sure you have signatures from all the different entities.
I
that-
have everybody, but including
Perfect.
Josh already.
Perfect, because we always have to ask if Josh
I
has
have
signed
them
it.
all.
Okay, well, good job. All right,
For the record, would you state your name and address so we have that on the record and then,
Angela Rogers, Rogers Enterprises, 9608 Southwest Happy Days Lane, Albutte. 97753.
perfect. And then we do have executive session after this, but we will, if everybody up here is okay with it, we can sign it before we go into executive session. So you don't have to sit around out in the lobby and wait for us to be done to sign everything. Is that-
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's okay with that, just so they can get on with real life?
I make a motion to sign the final plat on, do you have a name? Oh,
Parkview Estates.
Parkview Estates.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Alright. Great. Is Laura here?
We have another signature plat, if Steve
Oh.
is here,
Hello, Steve.
it was,
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have a plat for, it's Ochco Lumber Company. It's a plat for Ochco Mill, property just north of the hospital.
Mhm.
It's a 3 or 4 lot subdivision. Some apartments will go in there. So requesting approval. There's right of way dedication, public dedication there, so the court would be signing an approval of that dedication to the public.
Same question as I gave them. Have you got all the signatures including Josh?
No, the city, said that they would sign after the court.
Yeah, this is in the city limits.
This is in the
and
city
this is a
limits,
State
those
project,
different.
so that's the way it goes.
You need to state your name and address for the record, please.
Sure. My name is Steve Hammes. I'm with Dowell, DOWL. Address is 963 Southwest Simpson Avenue. Suite 200, Bend, Oregon, 97702.
Thank you.
Okay. Great. I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to sign the subdivision plat for Ocho Lumber Company.
I second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Same deal. If you just stick around for the rest of the meeting, we can sign it for you and get you on your way.
Great, thank you so much.
All right, now Laura. Is she planning to attend, Sarah? Do you know?
I'm not entirely sure. This came through Christina.
Yeah, they were planning to,
They were,
but I haven't received any communication from them today or yesterday to confirm.
We maybe hit a couple more and come back to it.
Sure.
All right, you want to talk about our drug-free workplace? Eric?
Commissioners, what you have in front of you is a very modest change to the county's omnibus employee handbook. Under a variety of different intergovernmental agreements, the county has executed, the county has to have a drug-free workplace policy. And under those agreements, that policy must have certain specified terms. Looking through our existing policy and comparing it to our intergovernmental agreements, we notice that there's one change that we would need to recommend be made. The agreements require that if a county employee is convicted of a drug-related offense, that he or she must inform the county as employer within 5 calendar days. Our current policy states that they must inform the county within 5 working days. So this change would be modest. It would be to update the county's policy to reflect 5 calendar days. And just out of abundance of caution, to also make a change to reflect that if the employee pleads no contest, that counts as a conviction for the purpose of this policy, and they need to inform the county as employer.
Okay.
Since this was discussed at work session, I have no questions. Do you have questions?
No.
I make a motion to pass the update to the county's drug-free workplace policy.
And that's order 2024.
Is there an order on it?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I missed that. Oh, I guess I'm on the wrong thing. Okay, order. I amend my motion to include the order as Mr. Barney stated. Oh, it is right there. Sorry. Order 2024-12. 11. Sorry. Okay, I'm looking at.
11 or
I'm-
11?
It's 11, 2024-11. I'm
I still
ahead of my.
signed 2023.
Okay, well, it works. It's drug-free. That's what we want.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Eric, you're up again.
Commissioners, let me start by saying, just out of abundance of caution, I might recommend that the county court specifically invite public comment before making any sort of motion on this order 2024-12. Admittedly, this may be me being overzealous, but under the circumstances, I thought a little bit of prevention would be worth a pound of cure. You have a order in the county agenda packet, which is very detailed and makes a number of findings of fact regarding a proposed contract for a project manager for what's called the HRIS implementation. HRIS is a software program for human resources purposes. As you know, the county is undertaking a number of different projects to try to update its procedures. And one of the things that we have found is our current HR system relies a lot on paper. The hope is that this new software program will help increase efficiencies for all county personnel. But existing personnel, and I'm including myself in this, either do not have the time or do not have the expertise, or in my case, both, to implement this project. And so the goal of the county is to hire or engage, as I should say, engage an independent contractor to serve as a project manager. The county undertook a competitive hiring process or engagement process under Oregon and county procurement laws. You have in your order a description of what those efforts were. This was an effort that was made available to competitive firms. And unfortunately, there weren't a great many of potentially interested bidders. One potentially interested bidder was located, and it happened to be the spouse of a current county employee. The purpose of this order is to make findings of facts regarding this potential engagement such that it memorializes why certain county policies are not employed. I'll speak to those in a moment. And why certain Oregon government ethics laws are either complied with or do not apply. So you have a description of first the county's policies. There's a county policy on employment of relatives and a policy on employee-owned businesses. The order would describe why the county says that those policies don't apply. And in short, those policies apply to employees, and this project manager would be an independent contractor, not an employee. You have a second section there which talks about conflicts of interest. This order would memorialize that there is at least a potential conflict of interest currently and a potential for future conflicts of interest. This section describes how the requirements of ORS 244.120 have been complied with and how the county court has directed staff to resolve these at least potential conflicts of interest. In short, the idea is that while the county's information technology director is going to be working on this project, he is not going to be overseeing the project manager. The project manager will be overseen as an independent contractor by the county administrator. The third section there talks about nepotism. And again, the order would memorialize that this is not a case of nepotism because, first of all, we're not employing someone, we're engaging someone as an independent contractor. And second, that even if there is any kind of nepotism involved, or at least potential for it, the appointing authority is not the spouse. The appointing authority is the county court, and it would be managed through the auspices of the county administrator. And those individuals and that body do not have this kind of nepotism interest that Section 3 is concerned about. The final section talks about the opportunity for the public to bid on this potential project. The circumstances that the county found itself in, including that there was an urgent need for these services and the steps the county has undertaken in order to serve interested bidders. Those steps included seeking out recommendations from a variety of different firms who are in the business of recommending project managers or independent contractors, such as Mid-Oregon Personnel, Prothman, and virtual information executives. Unfortunately, after engaging them, none of those firms were able to recommend anyone. There was also, as I understand, a competitive hiring process solicited under ORS 279B 070 and the county's procurement code, chapter 3.12.060 sub 2. So with that, what I would recommend, unless you have any questions for me, is to invite public comment specifically on this proposed procurement. The order in front of you right now is simply to make findings of fact. This is not to approve the contract. That's a separate matter on your agenda. So I would suggest that the county court invite public comment on this order 2024 12. So that if there are concerns, they can be memorialized and hopefully addressed.
Sounds good. We'll open the public meeting, or a public comment. And I think that was a very complicated explanation, which is important to get all that, but what I think we're saying is we're hiring somebody that is related to somebody at the county. She won't be reporting to that person. And we just wanted to make sure that the public understood that, and if they had any questions about, because there are some legalities to that, we wanted to hear those right now. Anybody? Okay, public hearing closed.
With that, commissioners, I might recommend then a motion to approve order 2024-12.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Andy, you wanna?
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. This is a discussion to consider a contract for a Human Resource Information Systems, HRIS, project management services. Following up on what Eric was speaking to, the county did issue a request for qualifications for a Human Resource Information Systems to replace its dated and antiquated HRIS and paper processes. We've received a number of proposals to that. There was a committee that's county employees that have reviewed those committees, and we're moving forward with the process to do demonstrations with 4 of those firms. It would be very hard to do that well with the current staffing situation that we have in HR. And so there's, it's discussed an immediate need for some help to keep this project on schedule and to address this pretty much an immediate need. And as I review the HR roadmap draft that has been presented, it just calls out for the need for information that presently, exists, but it's in paper form or in systems that require a lot of clicks and so forth to get to, and there's a lot of potential for duplication and or errors in that system. So from a budgetary standpoint, this position, this outsourced would be funded through a couple of different channels. We've got a third position in HR that's vacant right now that has a budgeted cost of around $8,000 per month. We use a portion of that. We also have a data business analyst position. That position has been vacant. We're in the process of recruiting that position to help with these implementations. That comes with a budget of about $9,000 a month. The projected cost of this, in talking with the consultant, is $125 per hour. Her availability is approximately 4/10 of a full-time equivalent, which is around 69 hours a month. So the cost would be roughly maximum on average about $86.50 per month. And speaking with the consultant, we have chosen, in a contract perspective, not to put a cap on that on a monthly basis. Some months may require a little bit more, other months a little bit less, just giving us the flexibility that was really the target that we're seeking in terms of her availability. I understand she's had a chance to meet with you each maybe a little bit this morning. Appreciate Crystal Chellis. She's the individual that we're bringing forward here. She is married to our CIO, Chief Information Officer, Stephen Chellis. So everybody, knows names and all that, information's out on the record as well. But Crystal is here and, be able to answer any questions you may have. We've graciously been able to get her here to meet you, but also to get introduced to, soon, move forward with this, get her introduced to the folks that are on that evaluation committee, as many of the department heads that are able to meet with her today before she heads home to be, with family. And I'm available to address any questions you may have, and is Crystal.
I don't have any questions. I, met with her this morning and she is a delightful young lady. I think the county is very fortunate to have her, stepping on board with us, to do that. This is a huge program that we're getting into and it's gonna take some work to get there. I understand I better Googled it over the weekend and saw how that spaceship and all the tentacles that go out and the different things that are gonna take place with the county and, I think it's a great opportunity for us to, improve ourselves. So I'm all for what we're doing.
I mirror Brian's comments. I don't know, he said it pretty good, so I'll ditto that.
Yeah, great meeting you this morning and looking forward to seeing you around more often. Okay,
So, if we, could have a motion to approve, a contract with Crystal Chalice and her firm for, an hourly rate of $125 for the scope of services that, is in the packet with the county standard professional services agreement.
So moved.
just real quick before you do that, did anybody have any public comment?
Okay, I second the motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Okay.
Welcome aboard. All right. Still no Laura, huh? Well, do we want to just have a quick discussion about it? Or
We can, I can give you a little bit of information.
you want to just give us a little information and
Yeah,
maybe we can have them come back and,
yeah, so
was it time sensitive?
the dollars don't have to be to them until May if it's going to be approved, so not really.
Hey, Eric, I don't mean to be rude, but could you scoot just a little bit over? I've been kind of looking over your shoulder this whole time and
Christina Herron, Crook County Finance Director. The request is from the Heart of Oregon.
Oh, I gotta get over here. Fair, we gotta put you up on a stool. Okay.
maybe when you say something, he can scoot to the right, and when I say something, he can scoot
Okay.
to the left.
Have your exercise for you, Eric.
Yeah, sure. We'll just make it even worse. Their request is $5,000 to support, a program that helps teens with job placement through learning about fire and, wildfire protection. And I don't remember how many teens she had to go through this program, and I don't have that paper in front of me. I thought they were gonna speak about it, so horribly unprepared. But this request unfortunately is not eligible for Title III funding because they already get federal funding elsewhere, and they're not allowed to receive any other federal indirect or direct funding. So their request is at $5,000 for due May 1st for the summer program for teens for the wildfire and
I mean, I think it's been going on here for 5 or 6 years and they always have, 10 plus, 10 to 15 kids. And it seems like it's a really positive thing for
it
kids.
definitely seems like a great program, and we do have really good participation in it, and it's kind of twofold. It helps wildfire protection for the public lands as well as getting kids valuable skills that they can then use to get a job or go into different fields.
It says here that they need the 5,000 to go towards fulfilling the 20% match to access the the forest, I'm just gonna say the Forest Service. So basically, if we don't, they don't get that other funding. Is that, that's kind of the
As
way I'm
far as I
reading that?
know, right now, that is correct. They don't have an additional source of that funding. That's kind of why they're asking this year, is because they had some donors that were able to support them this year.
Did they, have they asked this amount in previous years, or this is the first time they've ever came to us?
This is the first time that I'm aware of that they've approached us for any type of donation.
And so this would come out of the general fund?
Correct.
Okay. Do we have enough money in the general fund?
We do, it would come out of non-departmental, and we would need to do a budget resolution, but we do have the funds to cover the 5,000.
Okay.
And so along those lines, I got a call yesterday from the kids club. And they got 5,000 from the city. And they were interested in maybe getting some funds from us, and I asked her some questions, and they provide daycare not daycare, but afternoon, after-school care for 200 children in our community. And, she was gonna get back to me with the specifics, but there's definitely multiple county employees that kids are there. And so, it seems to me like the right thing to help, with just keeping people working in our community. She's happy to come and have a conversation. I just thought it would be good to bring it up now, so we didn't have to do two budget adjustments. And so I don't know if we wanna have them both come next meeting and have a conversation. What do you guys think? Or maybe you think neither one's valuable? I don't know.
I think you need to have Christina evaluate what we have as far
Yeah.
as funding and yes, obviously you need a two income family anymore to pay the bills. And so it is very important to have a kids club and have a place for them to have children. So obviously that's a very, very good need. But also this is a good program because I kind of liken it to California Conservation Corps, where they take at-risk children, they put them out, they physically work. And they hopefully develop some work ethic that goes on down the road with them. So both are very good requests. So I'm just, do we have those kind of dollars? That would be our question, my question back to you. Because now we're talking 5,000 and that's 10, so.
We do have the dollars if it's something you guys would like to support for both organizations. I think in the future, this kind of brings up another thing that we'll talk about, to potentially have a process for requesting and deciding dollars that we want to set aside.
And I think that's a very, very good suggestion, Christina. We need to get on that because it is hard because you have two really good causes here. And yet you only have so many dollars to stretch. So I do agree totally with you. So do we just maybe do a no action and have them come back and present? Or how do we handle this?
So the other ask for the children's club, could that possibly be under lottery money or some other funding or versus the general fund?
Lottery fund right now, based on the dollars we've received in the past, we've already obligated. So if we receive additional dollars, that would be a possibility for lottery. But of course, we don't receive all of those dollars all at once. We receive them quarterly, so it's potential to be paid out of that depending upon the timing of that request.
I mean, they're all great programs. I'm not putting that aside, but it's also all taxpayers' money. And so I have no hesitant to contribute to all of them from lottery funds and things that are special money that come in from the state and outside sources. So it just makes that decision easier because it's tough times, you know?
So do we want to have Heart of Oregon come back and present?
I'd like to hear what they have to say.
Yeah, no, I
don't
would
feel like
too.
I
I
did
would like to see them
justice
all.
to the
come.
program. It's a fantastic program.
Yeah.
Well, and by rights, they're asking, so they should be here asking. I mean, that's kind of my ethics, but yeah. So I think maybe, do you need to would you contact them or how do we?
I have sent them an email.
Okay.
Since they
Okay.
weren't here this morning, I asked them if they would be able to jump on the Zoom before 9:30, but I haven't received a response.
Okay.
So in that email, I just asked if they wanted to reschedule. So, and then I guess the next question is, would you like the kids club to present as well? So we can contact them and have them be on the agenda or accept. us to do
I
that.
think we have both of them come.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like you say, they're both extremely good causes. And you're the one that has to figure out if you have it to put in to do it for us. Thank you, Christine.
Absolutely,
Anything we can do to support the youth is a good investment to the future.
absolutely.
as well as employees and employers. I mean, if you look at, that's one of the toughest things right now is fine. I mean, from talking to them, they have 90 people on a waiting list. And this would go 100% to supplies and things to allow them to continue to do their job. So, yeah, and I'm not taking away from the other, but I think we get, like we both said.
No, and
It's
we
all
need to,
very
you need to jiggle the numbers and maybe we have to change our amount, whatever, but we need to know that we're comfortable. Because Brian's right, it's taxpayers' money, but I do feel that both of those programs are worthy of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And maybe in the meantime, we'll receive our next lottery payment should be coming fairly soon, if not already received this week So that will better inform that decision. If there's any
And we can
additional-
ask them how quickly they need those funds too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it may be
Maybe be able to defer it to the time that we do get the lottery funds.
next year, something like that. Next fiscal year.
So we don't need a motion or anything, we're just kind of, okay. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, an IGA with North Central Public Health District, Wasco and Sherman.
Morning, Judge and Commissioners. In front of you today is an intergovernmental agreement with the North Central Public Health Department. They provide services to Wasco and Sherman County. They need some assistance with their environmental soils program. This IGA will allow Chris Heindel, our county sanitarian, to go up and assist them with their on-site septic needs. My ask today is that you guys make a motion and approve the agreement so we can get that signed and get that in place as soon as possible. Any questions about the agreement?
I don't have any.
Does our sanitarian have the time to do this?
Great question. Yes, he does. We're slow right now, so this is a great opportunity to supplement some of those missing revenue streams right now with some work for an agency that needs some assistance.
Okay, anything else?
Any public comment?
Any public comment? I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to enter into IGA with North Central Public Health and Crook County.
I second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
And before you leave, will you make sure Sarah gets some of those public comment sheets from planning commission so she can see? And we can start to do that so that Seth would kind of know if there's anyone that wants to talk about a subject.
Yeah,
Is that a
absolutely.
big thing? Thank you.
Yeah, because I think that would, I think
Then you know.
then we don't have to
No,
interrupt the
No.
flow of the meeting.
No.
And I think we can also have people raise their hands on the Zoom or this
Yes.
as well. But I
Yeah.
think I really like the idea of people having to get to it ahead of time.
well, and then you have it here
Yeah.
and you know,
Yeah.
and
I
it's just a better spatial. Yeah.
Totally agree. Then
Thank
the flow will be better.
Okay, good morning again. Just a few quick items, to note, we have budget meetings, related meetings next week scheduled Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, basically 8:30 till noon. We having the department heads presenting, much like they did the Q1 results. And then taking a little bit of time to also talk about how they see the rest of the year taking place and what they're thinking about in terms of fiscal 25 and beyond. So that'll take place 3 days worth of those types of presentations. Then Friday, we'll go ahead and convene and just have a discussion about all the things that we've learned over that period of time, review the goals that we have in the fiscal 24 budget, talk about whether those need to be updated, and if so, how, and anything else that we would want to add. Okay,
Perfect.
Then there's a behind the scenes with Republic Services that that has been out. There's, I think, a couple of you that are interested in going to that. So as soon as we have the dates and so forth, we'll go ahead and have public notice provided so that both of you are able to attend. And, you know, in the future on any of these types of things, let's see if we can improve our communication so that we can make sure Sarah's got all that, so that we can get the notice, you know, public notice, so that, you know, if there's anything that, again, more than one of you gonna be at one of these events, that we can make for that notice and take that issue off the table. Okay? That's all I have.
All right. Any commissioner reports? Okay, let's do some signing. Do you have your special pens? Good. We'll now close the, or should I just read this in real quick?
No.
We're now going to ORS
Not yet, no, not yet.
Sign the plats. Pause it.
Yeah.
Can I move your bag?
Oh, yeah, yeah, just store it on the ground.
We could,
You wanna do it down there?
we could do it on that table, let's move that. Yeah, we don't-
Still binding. Go ahead.
I'll go with this one. Well, that's exciting. Yeah. You know when they're, when the plan